Hi, my name is Danica Uhl, and this is my Module 5 presentation for continuous improvement for my school, which is Ellsworth Elementary. Who are we? We are a very small rural community in central Kansas. As far as our students go, this past school year we had 268 in our building, which is a kindergarten through fourth grade building. And as you can see from our demographics graph here, we have very little diversity in our community as well as our building. Um, I compared this graph to the Census Bureau of the actual town, and the percentages are very, very close. I mean, we are right at that 90% for white, and then obviously everything else is very, very low. As far as our community, though, we have roughly 3,054 people. That was the census taken um, so far in 2019 from our city. And we are primarily agriculture based, but we do have a lot of local employment, which I think could bring more people into this area. As far as our staff goes, we are, like I mentioned, a kindergarten through fourth grade building, which has 3 sections with 26 certified um, members and 18 classified. How do we do business? Lately, this is only my second year of teaching, so I'm not going off of a whole lot of experience, but just from what I have discussed with my principal and my own knowledge. But we utilize Google surveys a lot. I know at the beginning and end of the school years, our principal will send out Google surveys kind of for reflection, but also new things that we can start each year. We have PLC meetings twice a month that roughly go about an hour and 15 minutes, and we do accomplish a lot during those because it's a time where we don't have students, so we can actually really discuss and just even reflect on data for some meetings. In services, we have roughly 5 of those every year, and this past year we added several different topics compared to the previous year. So they aren't always times that we can collaborate and discuss, but they are times where we can um, kind of think about what we want to do in the future and how we are doing that. And we also are doing better about student surveys. Obviously, being in an elementary building, we have to survey our students in different formats because of reading and writing and that kind of thing. But I teach fourth grade, so I actually am able to do surveys quite a bit. Where are we? 2017 and 2018. We really like to be above the state average. That's always our goal every year, just to make sure that we are maintaining that. And in math, as you can see, for our building in 2018, we had several in level 3 and 4 compared to the state, as well also in reading, as you can see in the other graph. We are also implementing our KISA goals, which are relationship and relevance this year. We're in year 2 of those, but we're working on relationships as far as how can we incorporate families more into that. And we did send out a survey this year asking parents how comfortable they are in our building, whether that be volunteering or meeting with teachers or just being in the hallways even. And we did get 90% being comfortable. We scaled them on I think it was a level 1 to 5, 5 being the most comfortable, and we actually received 90% on that they were comfortable. So we feel like with the relationships, I could kind of piece together the demographics part of the multiple measures into attendance. If our families feel comfortable in school, we feel like our students are more likely to attend school and make it to school. So our attendance here, as you can see, in 2018, we were above the state average by a few percent. So that is very encouraging, but we are always looking to improve. And then as far as our student programs and processes, we are actually in the process of implementing PADS this school year, which that will be kindergarten through fourth grade, and that is something new. So as far as why we exist, I pulled a couple statements from our actual mission statement for our district and also for our building as well. One that really stood out to me was that all children can learn to the maximum of their capabilities. And I think that really goes with academics and social emotional and character. We talk about developing positive personal character, and I think that will also tie into our new PATHS curriculum, really specifying the social emotional learning. We want to challenge every student, and we also just want to have responsible students and ones that are prepared for the real world. Where do we want to be? We have lots of new things going on in our building and lots of new things that are happening, especially this coming school year. We are trying to get more technology into our building because we are actually going to be leaving our computer lab and turning that into a maker space. So, to be honest, not a lot of us teachers know what a makerspace actually is, but we do know that we want to have STEM activities in there and a place where all students are able to go. We do not want to set it up as a reward system. We want it to be an opportunity for all students, no matter what their performance level is or behaviors. As far as our relationships, as I mentioned, for our KISA goals, relationships and relevance, those are our two. So for relationships, this coming year we will be implementing PATHS, and I have attached a picture here that primarily focuses on the zones of regulation. So our students will check in every day and let us know if they are in the blue, green, yellow, or red zone. And we will be able to collect data on that and kind of talk to parents as far as your child has been in this category for the last 2 weeks. How can we help them stay there? Or how can we help them get out of there if it's not a good place to be? And we'll also be designating an actual social emotional time this year. It is into the schedule, but I think since we haven't actually done it yet, that's where I put it and where we want to be, because essentially we want to be doing it for about 40 minutes every morning, kindergarten through fourth grade, everyone at the same time. And then our other keys to goal relevance, I put Ames Web because we only completed our second year in that, and we still have many of us who are unsure about how to utilize Ames Web in all of its entirety, because there is individual goal setting that you can do on there, and then create interventions that can be utilized on Ames Web Plus. But I honestly feel like we could do a better job of implementing that and utilizing it. We do have our goal is definitely to get every student into performing at that level 3 to 4, which with Ames Web we kind of are able to work with that on MTSS and then place them with where they need to be so that we can work on those skills to get there. Personally, I feel like the gaps for us are professional development and just our overall understanding, because I know all of these ideas and all of these things that we're going to be implementing, all teachers are extremely busy, especially at the beginning of the school year. And I am afraid that if we don't create time, specific time for these things, then it might not happen the way that we had intended it to be carried out. We just want to make sure that all teachers are on the same pace and have the same idea. And I think that's really going to affect our understanding if we don't have those times to work together. And then also the gaps. I know I talked about in Module 3 with my spreadsheet, I talked about the dropout rate in our district. And obviously in the elementary building, that doesn't totally apply. But then again, I did think it's a sort of a gap, because in elementary school they do need a good foundation to make them continue to want to come to school and to pursue their goals and to just be successful. So there is a bit of a gap there in as far as that information and that data, but I know it's the foundation still. How can we get to where we want to be? Obviously, I'm going to go back to professional learning because I feel like we do need to do a better job of that. Um, just talking to your colleagues and having those times designated for discussion can really make a big difference. I also feel like with more parent and community input, we can work on those relationships, like we mentioned, with our goals, and just making sure that we can make sure that we are discussing with families too. And then obviously just programs to support them, and then reflection also. I'm going to go back to more hint services and how we're going to implement. We want to get more technology and more time to make sure that we are understanding maker spaces. And then we're going to be evaluating through surveys and goal setting and attendance.